I have always been frustrated by games that erase your progress. What is this, 2005? Have my parents neglected to buy a memory card for the GameCube, so now I have to leave it running so I don't lose my progress in Super Mario Sunshine, but oops, the power blinked for a second and now I've lost everything? You're telling me I lost all my shines? Well, actually, Hades is a game where you keep your shines. You just get knocked back to when you're getting off the plane every time you die. I feel as though this analogy has really fallen apart, or maybe it was just never together to begin with. Anyway, Hades is fun. It's one of the few roguelikes I've played that I feel justifies in... Okay, one more. The fast-paced, rock and roll, tiki-taka-ass combat is extremely enticing to come back to, and once you get in a rhythm, it's really hard to put down. It's a game with surprising depth in its playstyles. For example, I jammed the dash button like some sort of raving lunatic, but someone smarter and more patient than me could take their time and get through the story much faster than I did. It's super interesting to read people's posts about their favorite weapons because I'm a big time fists guy. Like you could say I'm a dash attack legend. But even with just a handful of weapon options, you can really personalize and carve out whichever niche suits you. The game encourages you to use every weapon, of course, and they're all fun and rewarding to use in their own way. I remember really hating the railgun and not really loving that spear at first, but they both grew on me after a few runs, though once you've tried them all, you'll definitely know when you found your weapon. Not to mention the blessings from the Greek pantheon of gods that you pick up on each run through the underworld. You know, you got Ares with his war stuff, Aphrodite with her, love stuff, Athena with her shield stuff, busted by the way, Zeus with his lightning stuff, boring by the way, and Dionysus with his wine stuff, goated by the way. All of these and more that I didn't even mention play off of each other in ways that are really fun to experiment with. Maybe having Athena's shield dash and Poseidon's push attack at the same time so you can constantly be defending and attacking simultaneously. Maybe something like that. With the fists, maybe. The gods you encounter are randomized unless you get a specific god's charm, but even then it's hard to encounter any specific god, and you'll probably end up with a favorite god as well, but if it's not Dionysus, then, buddy, do not come to my house. Hades is a game that accommodates the player, but doesn't coddle them. Even with all these buffs and personalization options, it's still very difficult, but not in a way that feels undeserved. When I die, I'm always like, yeah, I was playing like a real piece of work there for sure. Yeah, you got me there, Hades. Of course, the story's nothing to sneeze at either. Bless you, by the way. If you're into mythology and whatnot like myself, first of all, go watch my silly little video about Shin Megami Tensei 5 and then also play that game and then come back to this video, or maybe do that after this video. Anyway, you'll probably also be entertained by the modern interpretations of these ancient stories. The way they depicted Zagreus in particular is super interesting, as so much of his tale in this is at least loosely and often firmly based on pre-existing myths. One of my favorites is a little side plot where you trick Orpheus, the court musician, into believing that Dionysus and Zagreus are the same person. And this is actually historically a thing, with some ancient stories blurring the lines between the two. It's a cool look into how the writers at Supergiant took the difficulties of documenting ancient storytelling and they just kinda had fun with it. You've probably already played Hades. It's not exactly a secret that it rocks, but if you haven't, please snag it. It's on sale constantly, and it's a game you can drop and pick back up pretty much any time. So if you're scared of commitment to a new game, don't be. It's not a short play by any means, but it's perfectly designed to pick up and put down anytime. Hades is a great game, and it's one that I've fallen in love with more than once in my gaming career. Oh wait, hold on, but there's a sequel coming? Hades 2 looks so sick, dude. I was absolutely not expecting a sequel to be announced, but I'm beyond jazzed to play it. The sneak peek of combat we got looks very similar to Hades 1, so I'm interested to see what new things they do with it. And they've got Apollo in this one? Finally some justice for the sun guy. But, alright, dude, listen. If Dionysus isn't in Hades 2 in some capacity, then, man, I'm gonna be pissed off. From the little we've seen, the main character is gonna be Zagreus' sister, Melanute. I don't know how to do it. Is that an umlaut? I don't know how to pronounce that. Melanute.
Melinoid.
And from the little I've read, she is cool as hell. Get it? Because hell, Hades, put it together. It's clever. The description of her is super sick. She's described as the bringer of nightmares and madness. It is often depicted as half dark and half light due to the circumstances of her birth. See, she's the daughter of Zeus and Hades' wife, Persephone, but Zeus was pretending to be Hades when she was conceived. Extremely wild shit, and also maybe that's going to be a big twist or plot point at some point in the game, and oops, already ruined that for myself. Oops. Also, Zagreus going to be in this game. Is this prequel, sequel, a simultaneous cool? So many questions, dude, but hey man, if the characters in Hades 1 are anything to go by, I really can't wait to see what they do with the story and world in Hades 2.